Rate of return on equity is zero, and it is always zero. Now I'm going to show you why. Now listen very closely to everything I say. You should pay for your house as fast as you possibly can. You should just always have the largest possible mortgage right up until the day you die. I know, contradiction in terms. So listen again and listen closely. You should pay for your house as fast as you possibly can. You should just always have the largest possible mortgage right up until the day you die. This is a house. This house is worth $500,000. And this house has a $500,000 mortgage on it. Now, please don't argue with me about you can't get a $500,000 mortgage on a $500,000 house. The bank will never do that. This is a concept, folks. I don't care whether it's a $500,000 mortgage or a $200,000 mortgage or a $100,000 mortgage. The concept remains the same. So this is a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it. Question, will this house appreciate or depreciate any faster if I pay it off? And the answer to that is absolutely not. The house will go up or down in value regardless of how much money I put in the house. It's going to continue to grow no matter which way I have it, paid off or not paid off. Therefore, the rate of return on equity is zero. Equity is only growing because we're putting more money in the house. And yes, the house is appreciating, but it would appreciate with or without the equity. Now, I said you should pay for your house as fast as you possibly can. You should just always have the largest possible mortgage right up until the day you die. So we have a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it. Is this house an asset? And the answer is absolutely yes. You will find it on the asset side of your balance sheet. There'll be somebody out there that says it's not an asset, it has a liability against it, it's a liability. Look, folks, look at your balance sheet. Your balance sheet says there is a $500,000 house. Over on the liability side, there'll be a $500,000 mortgage. So I have a $500,000 house that's a $500,000 asset with a $500,000 mortgage against it. Let's pretend for 1 second that I have $500,000 in my bank account. If I have $500,000 in my bank account and I have a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it, the value of my assets is $1 million. If I look at my balance sheet, I'll have a $500,000 house and I'll have a $500,000 cash in the bank. I'll have $1 million worth of assets. Now, quick question. Is this house paid for? And you're going, nope, it's got a $500,000 mortgage on it. Well, folks, watch this. Paid for, just like that. So I will say it again. You should pay for your house as fast as you possibly can. You should just always have the largest possible mortgage right up until the day you die. So if I have a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage on it, and I have $500,000 in my bank account, I have $1 million in assets, and I can pay off my house anytime I want. But if I was to take $100,000 out of this bank account and pay it towards the mortgage on this house, what would this house be worth now? And the answer is $500,000. If I was to pay it off, what would this house be worth now? And the answer is $500,000. But wait a minute, I just put $500,000 in it. It must have gone up in value. No, it did not. But what is the value of my assets? The value of my assets now is $500,000. Before, I had $1 million that was currently working for me, and now I turned it into $500,000. Now, maybe you could explain to me why it is that you would ever take $1,000,000 and turn it into $500,000. And the only answer you could give me is I don't want to have a house payment. So let's take a quick look at how we can pay for a house. What are our choices? Well, the way most people pay for their house is they finance with a mortgage. So here's what they do. They go out here and they start saving for a down payment. They save up as much money as they possibly can so that when it comes time to buy that house, they can avoid PMI and get a payment that they can actually afford. So they go out over here, they find a house, and then they take and they drain that account to put the down payment on it to buy the house. Then they take out a mortgage. And now what they do is they start making payments towards that mortgage. And as they make payments towards that mortgage, the amount of equity in the house begins to increase slowly over time, and simultaneously the house is appreciating. So it's going up in value. So my equity in the house becomes a little bit higher, all right? But the problem with that is that if I need to access that equity, the only way I can access that equity is to sell that house. Now, of course, I could take out another mortgage, but I would have another liability against it, and I would have to access that cash that way, and that's only if they would allow me to do so. And I can show you many, many people that have millions of dollars worth of house and no cash because it's all tied up inside of their house. So when it goes in the house, one, is it safe? Is it liquid? And does it have a rate of return? And the answer to that question is no, no, and no. Because you may have been living through the last 10 or 12 years of your life thinking life is wonderful and houses will always be great because nothing's happened. But in my lifetime, I've watched the real estate market go down twice. Now, I'm 63 years old, and I've only been buying houses since I was like 30, but I've watched the real estate market go down twice, so my money isn't safe in my house because it can go down in value. It's definitely not liquid, and it definitely has a 0% rate of return. So I could self-finance it. I could go out and I could buy this house by self-financing it. In other words, pay cash for my house. Well, in order to do that, I would have to save up enough money to pay cash for the house. Then I would go out here once I've done that, and I would identify the house I wanted to buy, and then I would drain the tank to pay cash for my house. Once again, taking the money from this tank over here where it's making a rate of return. It can be safe or risky depending upon how I do it. It's liquid. I can go get at it anytime I want. And then moving it all over into the house that was made to house people, not money. It's not safe, it's not liquid, and it has a 0% rate of return. Now, the next way, and by the way, once again, the only way I'm going to get at this equity is one, get a loan if they choose to give me a loan and choose whatever rates and whatever amount they want to give me. And then two, the other way I could get at that money would be to sell the house. So here's some things that you want to consider when it comes time to buying a house. First off, in this scenario right here, if I've got the equal amount of money sitting in my account here to the amount of money that's borrowed, isn't my house paid for? Yes, it is. Because at any point in time, I could put that money inside of there. So my money's sitting off on the side where I can get access to it. I'm using the bank's money to finance it. And then if I have any kind of emergency, I don't have to go to the bank and beg to get money out, or maybe I lose my job. At least I have money sitting in this account that I could pay for it with. So some things to consider. If savings and mortgage rates are equal, the cost would be the same. Well, That is true. The cost would be the same, but the reality of the matter is that over in the savings account, we're making money on the compounding amount, and on the borrowed money, we're paying money on a declining balance. So actually, we're making quite a bit more money in the long run with regards to that. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, you could borrow at 6.25, make 5, and come out over way ahead over a period of a 30-year period of time as a result. Now, there are two ways to have a paid for house. One is to literally go out and pay cash for it. The second way is to have the cash in a liquid account over here that I could go pay for it anytime I want. And a mortgage allows you to maintain control of that money throughout your lifetime for emergencies and things like that. And accessibility to the home equity doesn't require qualification if I have my cash over here and not in my house. But if it's in my house, it requires qualification. Now, I know that what this does is this really twists your brain, because this is a tough one to handle. But folks, the question that comes up next is, well, what about these rates at 6.25%? Rates are relative. The highest interest rates have ever been on mortgages have been 18 to 22%. Do you know what CD rates were at the time? They were 16. Right now, the rates are running in the 6s to 7% rates as far as taking out a mortgage, and CD rates are running in the 5 to 6% rate. Now, CD is a terrible place to invest your money. There are much, much better places where we can make just as safe returns, and we can do it tax-free. But that's not what this class is about. This class is about equity has a 0% rate of return. Can't wait to hear your comments. Put them in the section down below. Like this video, share this video, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, live like you're going to die tomorrow and plan like you're going to live forever, because you just might. You keep smiling and make it a great day.